Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyper Roll with Artark. Before we get into the build, you know what I'm going to say. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that helps the YouTube algorithm so people can discover the glory that is this channel. Okay, I'm overdoing it, but you know what to do. So again, let's talk carousel for a moment. My first choice is usually a bow. My second choice is often a tier. Both are very necessary for both Animaniacs and Recon Brawlers, which are my top two builds. But when you get a Leblanc out of the NPC round, it's time to start thinking about admin Spellslingers. And this is probably one of the worst combinations that I find in the admin set. It's just attack speed. That's all I can get out of it. So since I'm going to end up putting a blue buff on Leblanc, I pick it up so that it's upon cast. It's time for the first set of augments, and not exactly. I can absolutely work with Battle Mage. Since I'm going to be adding the hacker trait onto Leblanc later, I also want to make a Jeweled Gauntlet, so we can just grab a 1 cost, make a Jeweled Gauntlet, and put it onto Leblanc. I was really hoping to find an Annie there, but that just didn't happen, so I grabbed a Lux just so I could trigger Spellslinger and hope that it could save it, but I really didn't have much hope for this first round without Annie in the game. For my item choice, I was hoping for a tier to complete the blue buff, but no such luck. I went ahead and grabbed the bow, because that's part of the Titan's Resolve that I want to make for Annie if I ever get to see her. Luckily, though, Leblanc is really strong, and when she casts, if she kills someone, she will move on to the next target, and that allows her to do a ton of damage. Stage 4, still no Annie, but we do have a lot of Blitzcranks, and we've locked for Sona, so we can upgrade our Spell Weavers as we go forward. But at this moment, we have run into a brick wall that is Renekton with a Warmog, so down we go. As we head into the next items, again, we're hoping for tier, thank you, tier, blue buff, Leblanc, and we can change our Spell Weaver out and make it more powerful. You can now see how Leblanc works with the blue buff, because when she casts and get a takedown, the mana then increases, and also she's going to do additional attacks anyway, so she can just wipe an entire team. And normally I would want to have an Annie by now, but no luck yet, until it's time for the hero augments, and we can force an Annie with the Reflector Shield, and this is a fantastic one for her because she's now going to do magic damage to anything that hits her shield when it is up. So she gets to go in. We can also bring in the Hacker Man, which is a Hecarim that's going to hang out, and that will allow us to move Leblanc into the back line, which will give her invulnerability for the first 2 seconds and allow her to really start destroying teams. Now you'll see Leblanc rides into the back line and then is able to focus on Draven, who she takes out, followed by Talon, who she takes out. Sona heals her back, but even with that heal, she doesn't have enough power yet to get through this Alistair with the Dragon's Claw. The next item presents an interesting opportunity. I could grab the Needlessly Large Rod and finish a Hextech Gunblade, or I could get the Spatula, and I'm pretty sure Spatula and Negatron Cloak make the admin emblem, so I can go ahead and put that on Annie, which is going to allow her to have additional powers throughout the game. In this case, we'll allow it to heal 200 health, which will make her tankier. So while it's not a specific tank item, it will give her some critical healing. The key here is going to be Leblanc and how much damage she does to whatever target she picks. If she takes them down, she will cast additional and really do damage. If she doesn't, she'll get knocked out. But just notice how much Annie is able to hold on. Once we get her itemized, she's going to be a force. Now, normally I don't do something like Bloodthirster on a spellcaster, but in this case I decided to go with it since the admin trait included some healing every time they cast. I wanted that additional shield so that Leblanc would have more time to do more damage. Not looking good at the moment. After the next NPC round, I ran into the problem I mentioned before. You need to have an open spot on your bench to pick up the anvil. But I got lucky here and was able to get a Spellslinger crest, which will immediately allow me to go up to 4 Spellslingers. It threw a 2-star Zed at me, so I brought him in as the 3rd hacker, and I can get the Giant's Belt right here, so I can put a Warmogs onto Annie. Adding that additional hacker is going to give Leblanc additional Omnivamp, and I went ahead, I was thinking of making Zed the Spellslinger just for fun, but it makes much more sense on Zoe, but I did give Zed a static shiv so he can reduce the opposing team's magic resist. And you will see very quickly the Warmogs is just what the doctor ordered, as well as that additional Omnivant on LeBlanc. Her health keeps getting critically low, only to be followed by her getting back to full health after a couple of casts to finish off this match. And just for the moment, because it's always fun to see, there is the gold 3-star LeBlanc, who is going to start ripping teams apart. With the gold LeBlanc and the Omnivamp from Hackerman, she is going to be incredibly hard to take down. Having Annie mostly tank everything is also going to help as well. You can see it work perfectly here as most of the team focuses on Annie and LeBlanc is able to finish them off. I switched out Camille for Soraka to bring the 4th admin in. We had it as Camille, who was just taking up space and not really fitting. Our last couple of items, we really want to tank up Annie, so Dragon's Claw will go directly onto Annie. Now I just need to remember to open the anvil, and yes, I did. The ZZ Rot portal will be great for Blitz. It'll add just more gum into the front line, which will allow LeBlanc to destroy things from the back. Our goal now is to get to the 6 Spell Weavers for maximum power. And we have no room for error anymore, as 1 loss and we are out. Put LeBlanc with as much Omnivamp as she has and as much spell power as she has, you can see is just able to devastate an opposing team. The other thing I did, and the reason I took Taliyah and Soraka out of the center, is because we were facing a lot of AoE champs like Sejuani, and if we clumped, everyone gets frozen, but you can see LeBlanc and Taliyah escape it and allow us to win this round. It's time for our final 2 items, and Spear of Sojin is an easy choice because that'll allow Taliyah to cast more often, and her casts are pretty strong, and then we can turn Blitz into a real Blitzcrank by giving him the rocket-propelled fist. At the moment I have Fiddle in, but the moment I get the shot for Janna, I'm going to put her in because she will make the 6th Spellslinger. I don't want to bring everyone into her circle because I am running Battle Mage, so I don't want to lose that buff, but I can position her in such a way that she's enhancing LeBlanc, Zed, and then Soraka and Taliyah. Enter a 5 mech team with a 3-star Draven, 3-star Jax, and a whole lot of power. But luckily, LeBlanc is in the back and just destroys everything she touches. And that leads us into the top 4. Or should I more properly say, into the top 2, since it ended up eliminating all but 2 of us. So with 1 left to go, I give up on the idea of the gold Annie and just focus on making this team as powerful as possible with the 2-star Janna. We are against a full Anima squad with a really tanky Nasus up front, who the Thieves' Gloves decided to give him Warmogs and a Bramble Vest. The key is really going to be LeBlanc. How much damage can she do while the rest of our team cleans up? They're counting on their misfortune to wipe out the team, but LeBlanc, it's like the good old days of Civ HD. She just decimates the entire team, and it's GG for everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you on your climb to hyper, and as always, hope you have an absolutely absolutely awesome day.